This is HTML lesson number 57. How do you label your checkboxes and radio buttons without using paragraph tags? Well, let me show you how to do that. Okay. We're obviously going to have head and body tags. And title tags. Okay. And yes, we are going to have form tags. This is going to be a form. Now we're going to add 2 radio buttons to our web page. No. Okay. And now we're going to add a new tag. Nope, we can't do that. Sorry about that. But we can do this. Okay. Now at this point we need to make sure we're adding our closing HTML tags. This is where it starts getting a little tricky. Okay, now we've got all that. We have our opening and closing label tags. See? We have our opening and closing font tags. Now we got that. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to copy and paste. And there you go. And of course, we're going to change this to, we have male up here, we're going to have female down here. Okay? I'm going to kind of move this in just a little bit so you can see it. Again, everything is exactly the same from here to here, except one is male, one is female. See? Okay, everything's the same. So let's do a slight review before we go ahead and finish this lesson. What we did was we had opening and closing label tags. That's these. We had opening and closing font tags, which are these. And then after the opening and closing font and label tags, we placed an input tag and we had the type attribute equaling radio. That way we had radio buttons. And basically, when we typed all this, we just copied this, pasted that, and then we changed the word male to female. That's all we did. All right. Now let's see if this thing actually works. We're going to save this as... We're going to save it as label.html. We're going to open up HTML Student. We're going to double-click Label. And you can see there might be a problem here. You see how small the text is? Okay, we got to find out what the problem is. Alright. Well, you know what our problem is? Do you see it? Bet you do. What did we forget to include here? We forgot to include size. Size is our attribute. Now if we save it, and I'm sure you caught that, and you can see how easy it is to make a mistake on this stuff. You forget the word size, you forget the equals, you forget the quotation marks. So let's say you have this quotation mark, but you forget here. Let's say you have this quotation mark, but you forget this one. Well, it affects the web page. It really does. Now then, let's go ahead and open up HTML Student. Double-click label.html. Does that look a little better? Of course it does. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. Now you say, well, couldn't we improve that just a little bit more? You betcha we can. Why don't we place a couple of BR tags after this input tag? Okay? Remember, this is the first line, which is male. This is the second line, which is female. We want to separate the male from the female, so we have a couple of break tags. Okay? We have 2 break tags. Let's save it. And now, how does that look? That looks even better, don't you think? You can do stuff like this. Alright. Okie dokie. Well, I think you've learned quite a bit. There's one more thing I'm going to show you about HTML tags, and then we're going to move into something a little more, with a little more finesse, with a little more flair, or whatever you want to call it. You're going to like what we cover next. Alright, I'll tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.